What's up, everyone? So this is my 2002 Jeep Wrangler TJ. It has 71,000, almost 72,000, less than 100 away from 72,000 miles. It's a sport. It's an automatic. It's got the 4-liter in it. It's basically all stock right now. I picked this up from my mother, basically to get myself out of truck payments. So that's something I was interested in. I used to fix cars a lot, not so much nowadays. The Ram, that's what I used to drive, as a 2020 Ram. That was too new for my liking. It didn't allow me to do the things I wanted to do without feeling a little guilty or like I was ruining a brand new truck. So when I got the opportunity to, I decided to swap for this, and I think it's a great choice so far. Every week it has had a new issue. Right now I'm battling floor rust, so that's what this current video is me repairing the floors and kind of filling you guys in on my Jeep Wrangler. I've had an idle issue. The RPMs are going up and down, and it's kind of hesitating a little bit on acceleration. It's not stalling. It did once, but it's more of a hesitation. Factory size tires, so I plan on getting those. I'm just going to go an inch bigger to 31s by 10.5. These are currently 30 by 9.5. I just did an oil change on it, so that's good. Besides that, I'm still pretty new to it. I've had this Jeep for about a month now, and it's been a Jeep. That's the way to put it. Hasn't been good, hasn't been bad, but it's been a Jeep, and it sure has given me everything that I've expected it to give me, and that's a few headaches. But right now, I'm going to show you guys what I got done in terms of starting the floor. All right, so for this Jeep, right now, like I said, I did a few fixes on the floor in terms of small spots of rust I had. One is here on the driver's side. It's re-welded, seam sealed from the top and the bottom. And then here's the passenger side. I got one there that was kind of funky on that curved part. And then right over top of the drain hole, my drain hole ended up being about the size of that square. Drilled a smaller hole on top. That way it can still allow, you know, some breathability. And if I do ever get water in there, it will hopefully run out or at least dry up. The back is nice and clean. And then where these seats mounted. So it's kind of funny. I only have 3 bolts holding each seat in because this one snaps on both of them. So orange earplugs so I don't get bed liner in the threads. And that's that. Pro tip, if you guys care about your stuff, remove it. Wear shitty clothes, you know, bad sweatpants, an old shirt. And this one's that duplicate color I opened earlier exploded on me. Like I said, it was already kind of dry, so when I pried the cap off, it exploded. It's on me. It did wipe off pretty easy with the wet rag, so no worry in that if you did spill it on something you didn't want to. That's not close, because it didn't come out of this, but it came mostly off my arm. So I'm gonna get you guys all set up. I'm gonna pour the duplicator in the tray, and I'm gonna start rolling it back. So here's my gallon, my roll station, bringing all this forward because I'm gonna start in the front and I'm gonna work my way back. That way, hopefully I can just do it all from the doors, then from the trunk, and I will not have to step inside. I don't want to put any dirt or contaminants into the Jeep at all right now. After I've already acetoned it, I've already vacuumed it multiple times, swept it out. Basically, no more feet inside of there. You got to keep it as clean as possible. This Rust-Oleum box did not come with a stir. I have a piece of 1/2-inch copper here. Now I have a stir. This is a lot better. Like I said, my duplicolor, it was dry from the just age of it, I assume. It had the clips on the can, so I know it was never used before. But this here is basically the consistency of like a really thick, bad motor oil that you would not want to use. And the Duplicolor was chunky. It was oily on the top, it was chunky in the middle, and it was almost asphalt at the bottom. And that's when I kind of realized I had a little bit of an issue. And I went to the nearest store to find any solution that I could next. Stir it up. I'm just gonna pop this paint stir on the mat I have here. This is just an oil absorbent mat. And then hopefully I'm not gonna make a mess. One quick pour, and I'm gonna call that good. Boom. Nice and mess free. Just enough to fill up my tray there at the bottom, and I'll start rolling it on. So I'll see you guys soon. All right, so first coat is on in the Jeep. I made a little bit of a mess. I forgot to put gloves on. It wasn't terribly difficult. I started with the corners first. Like I said, I worked my way from the front back though, minus the few spots that I missed and had to kind of hit up on the way. But all that, I left the top of the trans tunnel undone just because it's going to be underneath the console and all that. So A, why do more than I have to in terms of using material? And B, I'd rather just kind of leave that alone just because that metal's all good. There's no rust coming up through there. So I do it if it's going to be covered. Like I said before, I'd rather keep everything as OEM as possible. I do plan on keeping this for a while though. These are good. And I'm liking that look a lot better without doing the wheel wells. I was going to do everything. Then I decided I'll start small. I can always do it later on if I decide to do so. But I'm liking this a lot. I know once I put the seats back in, I do not have a rear seat that's going in. So this will just be a nice, tough trunk space where I can throw all of this garbage. So, yeah, that's not too bad. Like I said, it went pretty easy. My plugs held up, you know, the shooting earmuffs in there to cover the threads. Those are still intact. I did lower my corners first, like I said. And yeah, I'm liking it. Good stuff so far. Difficulty rating on this project, maybe a 4 out of 10, I'd say, just because if you're like me and you live in the Northeast, you're gonna have rust on your car. Your difficulty level will skyrocket if you plan on fixing that rust, depending if you're a good welder, anything like that. I'm not. This was my first welding project, and I don't think I did terrible. The time it takes, definitely a few hours. You're going to give yourself a full day to remove the interior, tape, sand everything off that you want, and then the funnest part is waiting for the paint to dry. So here we are. I'll be here till midnight, 1 o'clock, just waiting on the first coat to dry so I can throw the second coat on. Once I throw the second coat on, I am going home and going to bed. I clocked into work at 7:30 this morning. It is about 11:30 at night right now. Been in this building all day today. It's basically my second home. So my second home, basically my third home right here. That's my plan for the summer, is basically spend as much time in this Jeep as possible. When I had my Ram, I built that as kind of an overland build, as you can say. I've gone across the country twice from New York to California. Once I did it in a 2008 Honda Civic, slept in the back for 2 weeks, and it went everywhere my Ram went. Basically, I off-roaded myself with a Honda Civic that I could have with my Ram, and that's what led me to this. I wanted to downsize. I wanted to get more simple. You don't need the glorified overland camping rig that you see on Instagram. It's not realistic. 99% of the roads to get where you want to go are going to be highways or standard state roads that are all paved. So that 1% of the time that you're really beating on it, make sure your tires count. That's all I can really say. But we're going to get this second coat started soon, and I'll let you guys know when it's all finished. What's up? So the Jeep is finished up. There were some spots around the console that I could have gotten a little closer on. I should have marked where the console edges were, so I knew I'd get underneath of it. But I'm honestly probably going to wait till spring to touch that up, just because I won't have a weekend to have the Jeep, kind of not functioning, to kind of put it away for that weekend, because it is my daily. The other thing that I noticed is the best thing about the bedliner so far is it brought the sound down on the interior a lot. I did put little pieces of kill mat underneath the console to kind of help with any, rocks that may just come up there and make a little tick, anything like that. That stuff has worked wonders in some of the old Civics that I've owned, making them, sound a lot quieter and a lot sturdier. So I'm going to be doing the doors for the Jeep soon. But besides that, I'd recommend to anyone, how to do floor repairs from rust, anything like that, to bedline the Jeep on the inside. But if you're going for a perfectly OEM kind of stock Jeep, then I'd say shy away from it, because it's something that once you do, you're not going back. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again.